Hey guys, so I've needed something for a while now in order to recapture my wash water or divert it, and I've been looking for something and finally came across something I think is going to be great and we're going to be able to put to use, especially for some strip centers and also some warehouse cleaning, interior warehouse cleaning that we do. It's called the Mississippi Recovery System. And we got it in the other day, used it for a little bit. This will be the second time I've used it, so bear with me as I go through it with you. I may mess up a little bit, but we'll take it out on a job one day and show you how we use it and how we apply it, the application for it and all that. So stay tuned for that coming up next. Okay guys, don't forget May 17th coming up is our next hands-on training right here in Houston, Texas. It's an all-day on a Saturday hands-on training along with classroom training. House washing, roof cleaning, property protection, hardscape cleaning, all of that. Plus we show you all the equipment that we use, how we use it, why we use it, when we use it, all of that kind of stuff. So May 17th right here in Houston, Texas. And then also don't forget the online video school if you can't make it out here. That is an awesome way to just drastically cut your learning curve and help your knowledge and get you started in this business. So check that out too. Both of those, pressurewashingschool.com. And don't forget, we're looking at coming to Atlanta end of July. So let me know if you're interested down below in the comments. And hope to see you either here in Houston, Atlanta, or online. All right, so this is what's called the Mississippi Recovery System. I am not exactly sure why it's called Mississippi Recovery System, but I'm thinking if you're from Mississippi, you should probably have one of these. But anyway, just to kind of go over the equipment, this is a really cool thing that we just got in. I had tried another different brand surface cleaner, and it's made for with the Venturi effect, which I'll explain in a little bit. And it actually has two guns, and you basically on it would have to clean, and then so you use one trigger gun to clean and then use the other one to vacuum or use the Venturi effect to pick up the water, which is just not how I thought it worked. And so that would mean double passes basically. This one, this A+ recovery surface cleaner, will actually clean and pick up at the same time. So I've tried it out, tested it around here. The main reason I got this is we have quite a few shopping centers that we do, and sometimes no matter what you do, the water just will go underneath the doors. So my plan is to use this, no matter how much we tape it off or try to protect it, paint shields, whatever. Going to use this around the door area so that we can divert the water and it's not going to go into the stores. It basically, when you buy this system, the surface cleaner is a separate purchase, and that's the A+ recovery surface cleaner on the website, and you get 16 foot of this discharge hose, which will connect to right there if you wanted to use it. And then you could just kind of free flow it to an outer area, out into the parking lot, whatever. Landscape area. I think it's 16 foot of hose, so it's not very, very long. If you need longer than that, you'd have to get another one or find you something like the blue pool discharge hose, connect to it or something like that. I haven't gone that far yet. And so when you purchase a surface cleaner, that 16 foot hose comes with it. Then when you purchase the recovery system, which is basically a vacuum, and it has a float down in the bottom of it, and when the water gets to a certain height, it will start pumping depending on what setting you have on up here. And with that comes 50 foot of 2-inch discharge hose, or vacuum hose, I'm sorry, vacuum hose and a scupper that you can connect to right there. And so the control panel up here, which is very easy to get to, by the way, you could easily put this onto a truck or a trailer or whatever. It's pretty lightweight. You can lift it up by yourself. But you have the off function here, and then over here, if you want to vacuum only into the tank, then you can do vacuum only. If you want to pump out only, then you can pump the water out of the vacuum. And then you have here where you could have the surface cleaner hooked up, and it will not only clean and pull the water into the vacuum, but it can also pump out at the same time. The pump out is located right here. There's like a bulkhead fitting or whatever. I'm pretty sure this was leaking when we first got it, and so we had to take some True Blue and seal it up, and now it doesn't leak anymore. Just had a little drip because there was no sealant or anything on it. So Raimondo fixed that up. And then, so this red hose is the discharge hose. That is also a separate purchase. It does not come with it. I purchased it because it's a heavy hose, and I wanted to make sure I had something heavy, and it was available, so I just bought it because it all came with it. No sense in going out and looking for another hose and trying different hoses. I'm assuming other people have tried this hose. That's why they sell this hose. It works, and it does work great, as you'll see in the demonstrations. So that's basically what you get. There's a separate purchase right there. This all comes as one. And of course you can buy extra, which I did. I bought extra hose. I have to figure out a way to kind of connect the two ends together. I'm going to look for some type of fitting, banjo or something that I can connect them together. And this part here will just slide onto the scupper. And then the other end, which is here, you put onto the end of the vacuum port, and that will suck up your water. So a very easy way to do reclaim. Now this is not one of those loop systems where you can continue to use the water. This is simply to vacuum up your water if you need to, put it in a holding tank until you can legally dispose of it. So you have to keep that in mind. But there's plenty of areas that, you know, I can see that we can use this in. And after testing it out, I'm extremely pleased with it. And it's the Karcher WR30E. We have it. All of this is on our website. There's also a little clip that you can get to clip that black hose onto here if you need to. So far I haven't needed to. It stays on there without it. But I'll show you that real quick right here. It's right here. That's the little clip right there that you can use to clip that hose if you wanted to. And I'm sure I'll eventually will use it. And I'll got to get me a couple of backups too, because I always got to have 2 or 3 of everything. So, but yeah, that's the system. And this thing pumps out about 30 gallons per minute. It is very, very efficient. And it works excellent. The surface cleaner works just, it uses the Venturi effect, which is similar to, or exactly the same thing as the sludge sucker that we use sometimes to get rid of water from puddles and other areas that you have to get a lot of water out. But this is mainly, this is for surface cleaning so that you're not creating a lot of water. Indoor warehouses is also something that we'll be using it on. We do quite a few of those for a couple of different property managers that we have when they have changeovers of tenants. We'll be able to go in and clean without worrying about water getting over into the neighbors, going underneath the walls or whatever, and have a way to vacuum the water out so it dries much quicker. So just to give you a quick little breakdown of how this 24-inch, this is an A+ 24-inch surface cleaner works, especially how it vacuums up, sucks the water up. When water comes blasting out of the nozzles, and these are 1/8 inch nozzles, by the way, not your standard 1/4 inch, but it spins the bar super fast. And so this is where it gets really cool. As the water flows through that narrow area, it speeds up, and that creates a suction. And so that's called the Venturi effect, just like a downstream injector. It's a real fancy name, but it just means the pressure drop pulls in surrounding water and debris. So as you can see in the video where I'm using it here, and then that dirty water and gunk, it just gets sucked up through this 2-inch hose over here or there, whichever one, and sent off to a drain or recovery tank or whatever, and you don't necessarily have to have the vacuum hooked up. So basically you're just cleaning the surface and recovering the water at the same time, so it's just faster, it's cleaner, way more professional. And but anyway, that's the power of the Venturi system. I may have misspoke a second ago talking about the pump. You can use the scupper when you want to pump water. You have to use the scupper. You can't hook this 2-inch hose up to the surface cleaner. You could, and I'll try it, you could try it with the small hose over there. It will slide in here. You just have to slide it in all the way. But it may be too long a hose. But anyway, what I've set up over here is my back guard. That's always our first line of defense when we're being environmentally responsible, is we always use back guards to protect our drains. And so we'll either have them here, like the water's running to one point, or we surround the drain with them. And so I've created some water here, and then I'm going to turn the vacuum on so you can see. Now this is on an incline, so when I turn it off, there may be some water that backs back down. So you want to kind of make sure you're on a level surface. But here we'll click the vacuum on. And we'll walk over here. And you can see it sucking the water up. And I've got a constant flow of water going in there. And so if I turn the water off, you'll see it'll suck that dry to where there won't be any more water there. And eventually, if we get it full of water, then it will start pumping out of there if I have it on the pump section. So I'll go over here, I'll turn the water back on, so we create more water. So it's a continuous vacuuming process. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to switch it to where it will pump the water and suck. And I have to get the water full enough up in the float, so once it collects enough water, I'll come back and show you. All right, so now the pump has kicked on and it's vacuuming and it's pumping the water out of the vacuum at the same time. So it's pumping it out of here and it's vacuuming it up there. And it has a float in it. It just took a little bit for it to get to the level to where it was, and you can see it shut off. And so as the water will fill back up, it'll kick back on. I'm mainly using the back guard just as a berm. I don't have anything that will totally stop the water. The back guard is made to filter the water, so it's going to let the water through. So don't expect full pickup I'll show you in a minute. As a matter of fact, I'll drain this tank in a minute. 200 gallons of water in there. I'll show you how fast it goes. I was hoping you'd suck up enough water to turn that pump back on without wasting a lot of your time. So that tells you how fast it pushes the water out. It takes a little bit for it to fill back up and push the water back out. And of course, that's all going to be dependent on how much water you're actually vacuuming. We'll take this off the scupper since you've had a chance to see the pump actually working, and we'll stick it into this tank and let you see how fast it'll do that. So I can figure out how to hold the hose down in there. Should stay in there since it's sucking. And there it goes finally again. Kick back on. And it's pumping the water. Alright, I've got it on vacuum and pump. So we're sucking the water out of this 200-gallon water tank. And it's sucking down to the bottom of the tank. And then we should see, yep, there goes the discharge. So it's pumping out, and we're sucking this down pretty quick in the tank. You can see the water line. But you know, this could be used for a lot of things: water extraction, all kinds of, you know, carpet gets wet, floods, whatever. You can really suck some water out and very quickly and pump it out at the same time, as opposed to like a wet dry vac where you have to fill up a little bit, take it off, empty it. Alright, so water started coming out of the discharge port here, so I had to, in other words, what happened is we were pulling way too much water than what the pump could handle. I forgot about that. So right now I've got it on pump only, so it's just pumping the water out. It actually sucked too much water, which would never happen on if you're surface cleaning or using the scupper. It did that because I was hauling in too much water because it's open. I don't have the scupper down there. The scupper's right there. It's just an open hose. And so just going to get it pumped out and then go from there. All right, so we're back at it. All I'm doing is I'm back on the scupper, pump, and vacuum. So it's just getting rid of all the water that's in the hose, sucked it all in, and now it's pumping it all out. Alright guys, so that's the second time that's happened, where I was pulling too much water. When we were testing it the other day, we were pulling too much water than what the pump could evacuate. And so it starts coming out of this and it looks like smoke, but it's just mist. And so all I did was just turned the system off, and then I just switched it over to pump only so it could just pump out the water. There's no water in there now, so the pump's not going to run, but the vacuum will run. So once you get some water in there and it lifts the float up, then it will activate the pump and start pumping it out. So now it's pumping out the water, surface cleaner is hooked up, trigger's pulled, and I've got the black hose running into the gray hose, vacuuming the water, and then it's discharging. So yes, you could conceivably surface clean, vacuum the water, and it'll empty at the same time. Once the float kicks in and it gets enough water in the tank, that's what activates the discharge. Okay guys, I hope this has been helpful for you. I think it's really going to help us out in our business, and if you have any questions, just leave them down below. I'll try to answer them as best I can. And don't forget, if you need to get a hold of me about any of our school trainings, that's pressurecleaningschool@gmail.com. Anything about our store products, the Mississippi Recovery System, surface cleaners, anything you need, the King Slinger, the Softy, hoses, whatever you need, you can call or text us 281-612-1223, and then email info@dougruckerstore.com. And just a reminder, we're here for contractors, guys that are in the business. We're not a business that's here for homeowners and to help you DIY your projects using equipment that we sell. We get a lot of calls trying to use their little Home Depot machine or Lowe's machine or Harbor Freight or whatever and do what we do with our professional grade machine, and that's just not possible. So, and plus my heart and passion is helping you guys get started in this business and do it the correct way. And so it kind of goes against helping guys get started in the business, and it also help homeowners do it themselves to save money or whatever. So anyway, just keep that in mind. I need to dedicate my time and my efforts towards those that are in the business and just starting a business. All right. So thanks so much for watching. Again, leave me a comment, question, hit that subscribe button if you can, the bell, and that little notification. That'll let you know anytime I'm coming out with a video that might be useful for you. All right. Y'all have a very, very blessed day.